Secret friends, unite!
Hey friends, welcome back to Secret Friends Unite. Oops, all Thunderdome. This is, of course, our topic-based show where we grab something, topic of the moment, and dive into it for about 30 minutes, kind of whet your appetite. This is episode 564, and I am joined by one of my awesome regular contributors, Joe Colton. Joe, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Oh, look at, we're getting all fancy. Holmes. That's right. We're gonna jump in and talk about, and I didn't record any. No, I don't even have any of the background, so I guess I didn't do my homework. But no, we're gonna be talking about Sherlock Holmes, Young Sherlock, which is now over on Amazon Prime.
Yes.
It was released at the beginning of March, and it was a full season drop of, I'm thinking, 8 episodes, because that's kind of the standard. And again, I usually do a little more homework on this, so shame on me. But we're going to jump into it. This is going to be spoiler-filled about the first episode only. So if my super brief description to you sounded interesting, and you're like, I got to go check that out, watch the episode, come back, listen to us spoiler-filled, and then you'll get our thoughts, and then you can continue watching the show. But before we do that, as always, I want to give some love and respect to the wonderful people over on our Secret Friends Unite Patreon over at patreon.com/Secret Friends Unite. We have exclusive shows you can get over there that are just available to patrons, including the great Bad Movies podcast that I do with my wife, April. That show is going monthly, so you'll be hearing more of it. All of our shows come out early. This show, for example, which most people get to listen to on a Thursday, comes out on a Tuesday over on the Patreon. And there's lots of other great perks as well. Here's how it works. Your first week is free. Even if you sign up and you're just a free member, you still get the post of when our stuff comes out, so you stay aware. But when you decide to take it to the next level, you get your first week for free for listening to content. And then it's half off your first month, and you stay on board for as little as $2 a month. So we would love to have you come on, support the show, and enjoy that extra content. So again, patreon.com/Secret Friends Unite. Even if you sign up as a free member and just get updates, we would love to see you on over there. So, Joe, this was your first thing that you came to me, because you've been a regular correspondent with me for about 9 months, I think, since I took the show over. And this was the first thing that you said to me. Yeah, Peter and I took over in September. So that's more like 6 months. Sorry, It's more like 6 months. Going on 9 months. But this was the first thing you came to me, and you'd recorded with us before that, but this was the first thing you came to me and said, I want to talk about this show. What drew you to this? What made you say, I want to talk about this show?
So first, I love Sherlock Holmes anything. Like, I love Watson.
Sure.
I love Holmes. But I really I feel like he's a very up and coming but like underrated actor. Hero Finds Tiffin. He as Sherlock Holmes, I think is really great. And I also I like what's his name? Donald Finn as well. He is Moriarty.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Also very underrated. I think in North America, they're not as famous as they are across the pond. But yeah,
right.
I like both of them. And so I was very interested to see Guy Ritchie's take on Sherlock Holmes.
And I will...
It's not like the traditional. So
right. And I will admit, I had no familiarity with those two actors. I mean, the first person I saw in this that I caught my eye, I think, was Colin Firth. And I was like, hey, I know that guy. But this is obviously, it's a British production. And Guy Ritchie has a massive following. It's kind of like, I won't liken him with Nolan, but it's like the fans are like that. You know, he makes something
he
and he's got
a following. Yeah.
Big audience of people that always see his stuff. So now, has he, to your knowledge, has he really dabbled in TV, or is this kind of new for him? Okay. Gotcha.
I think it is kind of new, because the last thing that I saw of his was with Henry Cavill, The Gentleman.
The wasn't that the Ungentlemanly Warfare? But yeah.
Yes.
What the hell was the name of that? And I saw it and I liked it. Alan Ritchson, who is Jack Reacher, which we love that show, was also in that. And it was called The Ministry of Ungentlemanly warfare.
Yes.
That was it. There we go.
Yes.
That was it. Well, cool. Well, like I said, I did a bad job. Oh, look, there's your little associate. Hi, sweetheart. How are you? Like I was telling you, by the time she gets old enough, every man, woman, and child in America will have their own podcast.
Yes. Can you go take that to Daddy?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. And now back to your regularly scheduled. That was your commercial break, and now back to your regularly scheduled program. Oh my God! Oh, how funny! All right, well let's
go talk. I'm gonna go talk.
Oh my God! Okay, go ahead and talk. Let's get into talking about this show. So let's talk. And again, spoiler filled. So please have a pause. Pop over, watch just the first episode and then come back and listen to us talk about it, and then you can take it from there. But let's talk about your first impression. So watching this episode, what was going through your brain? What were you digging on?
So the music was the first thing, like the opening scene, like was great. But like the music, I was like, oh, this is like I don't know if this is like British enough.
It's not British enough. British it up.
I was like, it wasn't like, I don't know, like, do you remember like the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock? The music in that was like very fitting. This like kind of took me out of it because it was like more like modern, like rock. And I was just like, what is happening?
Kind of like, what was that movie? And I feel like it was like Marie Antoinette starring Kristen Dunst from like maybe 20 years ago that they said it's like a rock soundtrack. You know what I mean? So that kind of makes me think of this. You know what I mean?
Yes. But my first impression of the whole episode was I'm in. Like, I'm in. It, like, I know that, like, some people were like, oh, it's like the plot is, like, convoluted and too fast-paced. And I was like, no, that's exactly how Sherlock Holmes is. Like, there are things that are just compelling. And he catches and deduces and, like, gets clues really quickly. And he works faster than, like, the normal, detective or constable. So.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, I from the jump, very stylized. Mm-hmm. I kind of enjoyed the music, I suppose, just because it reminded me of that. And I thought, that's kind of cool. It's different, because again, I have author friends and I have people that I've interviewed, like Nicholas Meyer, who of course is very famous in Star Trek circles, Christopher Abbott, who's an author that you and I probably both know from the con circuit, who are I said the con circuit, Wrath of Khan, not really a connection, but anyway, happened in my brain, who really love Sherlock Holmes as a character and write about it. But, and again, I think you see so many out there because it's a public domain character. It's been around for so long. So a lot of people write about it, but it's like, what can you do with it? That's different. And I think that this was kind of the direction that they were going with. So
I do like that they're filming like in Oxford. I've been there and like the buildings and like, I'm just like, oh, it takes me back when I lived in the UK. So I was very excited. But
Gotcha. Very, very, very genuine stuff.
No green screen.
Right. Absolutely. But yeah, I totally dug it. I had a lot of little notes. There was an actress, the actress who is his mother played the wife / girlfriend in Californication, whose name was Karen. That was a show on Showtime years back with David Duchovny. That was very satirical that I absolutely loved. But I love seeing her, and she also looks just like a friend of mine. So I like that. That was the first person I saw that jumped out. And then I wrote Colin Firth. He's got very like kind of villainish vibes, you know what I mean? Like something. Plus, he's he's the big hoity-toity. Like, isn't he like a dean or one of the professors? So kind of lumps it in, thinking about like, oh, it's like a college picture, and he's the crusty dean. Though by the end of the episode, they end up saving his life because, of course, why wouldn't they? I like the female lead right away. Not only the one that we meet in the bar, but also in the carriage scene in the beginning, because doesn't she kind of sword fight her way out of that situation? That is pretty. I thought that it was pretty wild. Yeah. And then but this was great because and again, you get Moriarty. He's introduced. He's a Scotsman. Awesome. They're starting out as pals. They're doing shenanigans. They're starting bar brawls.
It's cool that they're starting him off as like friends. Like they're both like he's like, Moriarty is very like interested in him, like, oh, you're making me curious kind of thing, like, oh, you've stolen, and he's like very observant of Sherlock, and then they become like instant friends, and like they're very mischievous together. So I'm wondering where this is going to go.
Right. Well, I mean, and that's the thing. I'm like, yeah, they'll be, and they bring in Lestrade as well. As it's kind of like, everybody is, the, kind of junior woodchuck version of themselves. They're like, well, I'm an investigator. Isn't he like he's like a junior investigator or something? But Lestrade was,
he's a constable. He's a constable.
Yeah, he was the guy. Yeah, he was like, Odo or whatever. He was like the security, like the main lawman of the overall series.
Yeah.
I love the whole bit in the library because, again, the crux of this has to do with this scroll that everybody's trying to, somebody's trying to steal it and put things in motion. And then we see our first bit of the brilliant deduction. I love it with the broken window and the bent in parts of it, and then the fingerprints on it, and then the clue is in the clock. And I love the deduction. It says, how do you know that? Well, they dropped the clock when it walked in and it broke, so we know that they came in at 10 o'clock. It's very satirical. Some of the lines I kind of thought was funny, but again, maybe this made more sense. The library is the busiest place at college. The library wasn't the busiest place when I went to college, was it for you? I mean, maybe
it was for my master's. So.
Yeah. But I mean, like, to make it sound like it's the student union, there's, somebody going to the McDonald's there or something. I don't know. I just thought it was kind of weird, but it could have been a bit more topical. I liked Sherlock's overactive imagination, seeing everything play out. And I'm like, is he like a mutant? It seems very X-Men, you know what I mean? But it's
though, I've noticed that like a lot of detectives like that are very good detectives, or law enforcement crime scene workers are very they kind of work the scene in an imagination kind of way, so it's kind of interesting that they're using that in the show.
I
find interesting.
I liked it. We get kind of a taste at a couple of different times that Sherlock lost his sister to drowning, but when and this was kind of wrapping up the episode, but it was the princess at the end that comes to him, and she's there in his room, and it seems very seductive. But when she touches him, he has this like very Vietnam style kind of flashback of his sister drowning, and then he passes out. And then when he wakes up, there's a dead body in the room.
No, it's not in the room. He wakes up with blood, and he pans over to the mathematician's desk. Because he's over his desk, he's dead in his office.
Oh, so that's right. He passed out, but then he wakes up in a different locale. And this is after, Moriarty and Sherlock discover a bomb just in time to save a room full of people and stuff. So, and then, so the whole thing with the scrolls, they thought it was taken, and they chase it down, and then they end up having fisticuffs with this giant guy. But the scroll was actually in the library. It sounds like Indiana Jones. The scroll was in the library the whole time. But then, why?
That's very Sherlock Holmes, though, right? Like, hidden in plain sight, and like, they have him running around, and it's all like it comes back full circle, like
Right. No, absolutely. Yeah. And it was good. And it's great to wrap it up, on a big cliffhanger. So I dug it. Cool start. And again, I, like you, we both said, cause I started this in the pre-roll, I said, well, I only watched the first episode. You're like, so did I. Because it's so tough in the world we live in to be like, I'm going to sit down and knock out 8 episodes of a show. You know what I mean? So even if something drops all at once, I mean, obviously the powers that be, and again, this is on Amazon Prime, unless I'm totally losing my mind. The great thing about Amazon Prime is that you probably have it anyway. It is. Did I say that incorrectly? You look like you were saying, no, it's not. It's on Prime, right?
It is. You're not going nuts.
Okay, good. Well, not over this anyway. So that's what I like, the accessibility of something on Amazon Prime is that almost everybody out there has it, because everybody, as the price continues to rise, Amazon Prime, the service, I mean, if I keep my wife away from it, I'm sure we'd be much more prosperous. But everything's like, no, but it's a good thing you get, groceries and shit. And okay, it's valuable, but you can get a little out of control. But the good news is that it has funneled my eBay business, because I never run out of boxes. So I'm grateful for that much.
I do have to say, I don't know how you viewed the relationship between Sherlock and Mycroft, but I kind of enjoyed the banter, but also like he wants to take care of his brother, but also teach him a lesson. Like he's very like prickly, but also there's a reason why he does the things he does to Sherlock.
Yeah.
And the actor is Max Irons, who is Jeremy Irons' son.
Oh man,
You caught that?
I didn't. Now the main actor, and what was his name? Hero Fiennes. Is he one of the Fiennes? One of the Rafe Fiennes? Okay.
I don't know if he is. I'll have to look that up.
That was what I jumped to in my head, but I also did not look it up. But maybe that's a common name, and it's not like there's not two families in the world that have that last name that aren't related.
Right.
But it makes sense to me. So yeah, I think it was off to kind of a cracker start without a dit. So I'm going to continue watching it at some point. I assume you are as well. So what's moving on? What's kind of your season 1 wish list? Like, what are some of the things that you want to see just from this start?
I wonder if the professor's assistant is going to be Irene Adler.
Aha. Okay.
The love interest of Sherlock Holmes.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, but I am thinking that I don't want it to happen if they get a season 2, but right now I'm thinking they're going to remain at least friends, Moriarty and him, for the first 4 episodes.
Right. Yeah, it seems like that would be an appropriate like season wind down. That they're like a big betrayal.
Yes.
Like, they're in the pursuit, like they're there at the last minute and they're going to apprehend this or capture this, or they're fighting this battle, and then Moriarty betrays him at the last moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And again, when you got a character that is several hundred years old, and it's like Batman, right? It's like, well, if Batman and the Joker were college roommates or something, and they were pals, you just know that eventually it's gonna, eventually the Joker is gonna take that nosedive into the vat of chemicals and become the Joker, and there won't be pals anymore. You know what I mean?
Yes.
No matter how they slice it, but it's like with characters like that, or like Superman and Lex Luthor. I loved Smallville, and they were pals for a long time and then became somewhat adversarial, and then they were super adversarial, and then, he grew into the villain that he's supposed to be. So, there's only so many ways to skin a cat, which I know is a terrible expression, but something that I think the show can position itself to do is to, tell the story a little differently. You know what I mean?
Well, they made them friends, right?
Right.
So.
Yeah. Now, to your knowledge, has that been done in other interpretations? Okay, so that's new. So that would be, I would say, kind of, the best thing that they've got going for it. So, I feel like they got enough cleverness going with this that they can find a way to take that new twist and kind of invent it differently. But yeah, you're right. Eventually, it's going to come to, like I said, that's my big prediction, and maybe it's at the end of the season or near the end of this season, and then that becomes a cliffhanger that they're at the last moment, and they've got the bad guy dead to rights, and they're gonna solve the case or beat the bad guy, and then Moriarty flips the script and he's like, I've been the bad guy all along, like you would expect, twirling the mustache like you would expect.
I think you're right. There's probably going to be a betrayal by Moriarty, but I think it's going to be because Sherlock is more intellectual and smarter. Right. Because I don't know if you caught it, but the princess said, "You're both very brilliant. You more so than him." Because so I think he's going to trust him a little too much, and then there's going to be a betrayal, but almost like I want to see if I can outsmart Sherlock Holmes as a playful thing, and it's not going to be playful. It's going to have like dire consequences, and Sherlock Holmes is going to be like, okay.
Yeah.
This is not
now the game is afoot.
Yes, the game is afoot.
The game is afoot. So as far as me, I always like to rate things. Great start, 9 out of 10 for me. I'm pissed off that there is no Data as Sherlock Holmes. Wouldn't it be great to see Brent Spiner show up in some kind of weird cameo? But again, I know it films in the UK, and that's dumb. But he's my favorite Sherlock of all times because I love Star Trek. What do you want me to do?
You know what? He could be Moriarty's like father, like do a cameo.
That would be great.
That would be great.
I know they have to fly him over. It's not like, but they have to fly him over there. It's not like he could, call him on FaceTime or something. The show is not that stylized that they would and we have iPhones.
Yeah, just the music.
Yeah. So what about you? What's your rating, even just based off of one episode?
I think it's a 9 as well. Like, we're agreeing. I don't think we've agreed before.
I guess no, because we've come up some pretty hard stuff about episodes of Star Trek that we couldn't come to terms about. So, well, this has been a kind of a shorter segment, but again, it's just a taste.
Yeah.
Our overall thought was, with our enjoyment, we want people to sample the episode. We want them to listen to our thoughts, and then make the decision for yourself. Then again, maybe you watch the first episode and you were so sucked into it that you just went ahead and watched the whole thing. And but if nothing else, we've let you know that it's out there. Definitely reach out to us via social media, and we'll give you the links, or just via email. We have an email address that's dedicated to the show, secretfriendsunite@gmail.com. And let us know what you thought about the show, and we'll definitely share those thoughts. And maybe if we decide if there's room in the schedule, we'll watch this and we'll come back and kind of give a season retrospective. So yeah. Any final thoughts before we send this one off into the great beyond?
No, I'm like excited for it.
Yeah, me too. Good deal. Well, shortest show ever. But go ahead and go ahead and tune in. It's over there on Amazon Prime Video. It's included with the service that you probably already have. And that's about it. Joe, always great to see you. We're going to get to see you in real life next week, because we're coming in your neck of the woods. We're going to visit my mom, who lives about an hour from you. And then we're going to New York City for April's 50th birthday, which I'm so psyched about, which will be in the past by the time this episode airs, because we're recording a couple of weeks in advance. But where do people find you out there in the internetosphere?
I am on Instagram and Facebook as Joe Colton Cosplay. And then TikTok the same. I don't use the X, but I'm on Threads. Yeah.
Nice. So. Yes. I'm trying to be good with doing, I don't do X. I'm kind of strayed from TikTok a little bit, but I try to be pretty faithful for the Secret Friends Unite handle, and also my personal handle, which is at the C3 THECEE. I try to be good posting, sharing fun stuff, and giving my opinions and all that. But you can also find us over on YouTube. All of our great interviews that we do on our Spotlight. We just recorded a great one with the gentleman who plays Commander Kelrick on Starfleet Academy. Was our guest last night. We were super psyched to have him on board. Fellow Canadian. He lives there in London, Ontario.
Yeah.
But we'll look forward to having that one come out. But visit our website, and of course, patreon.com/secretfriendsunite for all of our great content. We would love to see you there. I have been Charlie. I will tell you, as always, that sharing is caring, and keep on trucking.
And I am Joe Colton, and I cosplay hard, but critique harder.
This podcast is part of the Secret Friends Unite podcasting network, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and podcast services around the galaxy, as well as video on our YouTube channel. You can support Secret Friends Unite by becoming a Patreon member, get bonus programs and more over at patreon.com/secretfriendsunite. Join our Discord community for even more discussions on all things geek. For all the latest updates on Secret Friends Unite, make sure to follow us on Threads at secret.friends.unite and visit secretfriendsunite.com. Find our merchandise at TeePublic and Redbubble. Thanks for listening, and may the Force live long and prosper.